What's up, everybody? I hope everyone is doing well today. I want to provide you with another economic stimulus update and give you an idea of what some cities around this country are doing to provide economic stimulus for their citizens, and what one particular town in the state of Washington is doing, something that they did back in the 1930s after the Great Depression, and they're recycling that same idea and concept of providing an economic stimulus for their citizens in this town of Washington. Stay tuned. I'm going to talk about it, all of that coming up next. Hello, everyone. My name is Paul Zachary Shelton Jr., and I'm the Chief Investment Officer of Warwick Shore Advisors. We are a wealth and investment management firm located in Orlando, Florida, with clients all across the United States. If this is your first time coming to my channel, I ask that you please hit the subscribe button and please ring the bell so that you can get an update each time I upload a new video. And also, please like and share this video to help me increase the financial literacy of our globe. So, if you know me, you know that I am very passionate and excited about two things, and both those things are history and finance. And whenever history and finance collide, there's an explosion of excitement that takes place inside of my mind. So something I want to share to you today is about a town in Washington called Tenino, Washington, that is offering up to $300 a month in economic stimulus to all of its citizens. And there is a process they have to go through to apply for it. But they're doing something that is very, very unique and different from what is commonly done now, and something that hasn't been done since the bimetallic system, when this country used gold and silver as its primary means of currency. So this town in Washington is this very small town, and I'll give you a little history on it. It says back in 1931, Tenino, Washington, there's a small city. It's just under 2,000 citizens as of right now, and it's about an hour and a half south of Seattle, Washington. But they started printing their own currency back in the 1930s after the Great Depression. It said the Great Depression had ravaged the local economy, and a run on local banks left the economy and many of those banks without money back in that time. So the local government and the Chamber of Commerce, the newspaper publisher, and the town doctor, so all these entities got together. So you had the local government, Chamber of Commerce, the town doctor, and a newspaper publisher. They all got together and set up an alternative. And this alternative was to print wooden money. So they printed money on pieces of wood. They were wood-enabled bills. And it was backed by the town financial strength, essentially, at that time. And they were printed on a printing press that was used around the time of the 1870s. So they used an old printing press. They printed wooden pieces of money and disseminated to all the citizens of Tenino, Washington. And this was back in the 1930s to combat the fallout from the Great Depression at that time. So they revived this, and the current mayor decided to do the same exact thing as of right now. So he's printing money up for all the citizens, and what they decided to do is they set aside $10,000 in the fiscal budget for the city, and they're going to offer up to all the citizens in the city. It's about 1,800 citizens in the city, an opportunity to receive up to $300 per month going forward for not a long amount of time, but it's based on your income and it's based on some other things in the city. And how it works is designed to stimulate the local economy inside the city. So you take this $300 that you're going to get in wooden pieces of money, and you can use them at different merchants within the city itself. You can't use them outside of the city. You can't use them at any county stores or anything like that, but it's only used within this small city at the restaurants, stores, doctors, anything like that. And then those merchants, those doctors, those retailers, all those people inside that city, all those business owners that receive the wooden money can go to the town hall and exchange them one for one with for a US dollar. So they can take the wooden currency, take it to town hall and say, hey, I've got $900 worth of wooden currency, and they can give it to the town hall, and the town hall in turn will give them $900 US that can be used anywhere across the United States, anywhere the United States dollar can be used. This is a very, very innovative and good idea, honestly, because it really drives down the aspect of spending locally. It prevents them from going out to a neighboring city and buying breakfast or buying any tools or anything like that from a neighboring city, but really makes you focus on supporting your own community, supporting your own area, and growing those businesses within your own community in that own area. It's a very good thing. The negatives about that is, just like we saw back in the 1800s and early 1800s and into the early 1900s, when we switched from a bimetallic system of silver and gold that were pegged to each other and they supported the currency of our economy, it was hard for one to carry silver and gold around. It's heavy. It's easier to carry fiat money, the cash. And the other thing, back in that time, something very similar to what they're doing now, every bank, every state bank, every community bank, every city bank that was alive back in the mid 1800s produced their own money. So each bank had its own money, and the neighboring town bank had a separate money that was used. And sometimes they would accept each other's money, but they would discount each other's money based on their perceived strength of the neighboring city. So this could be an issue of something like this where it take place widespread over our economy. And we saw a lot of different counties, a lot of different cities and smaller municipalities producing their own money or their own currency to be traded for the US dollar. But this is something that is quite innovative, and it's more so of a commodity that's exciting for the local community. They're rehashing something that they did nearly 100 years ago, about 89 years ago. And I'm very, very curious to see if there's anyone that's watching this video that lives in the area or that remembers when this took place 89 years ago, or if there's anyone that has any of the old money from back then that was used the first time they did this economic stimulus. Please leave a comment below. I'm interested to see how it worked out, and I really, like I mentioned before, I really love history, so that's something that's very, very interesting to me. It also mentions in this article that Tenino is not the only place that has done this. There's actually a town, Salt Spring Island in British Columbia, and it's pretty much just a vacation community, and it's about 5 hours north of Tenino. It also issued its own currency in 2001, and it's been continuing to make and issue that own currency ever since then, and that's backed by the Canadian dollar. So this is something that has been done in Salt Spring Island, and it's been done on a consistent basis, and it's essentially seems like that has worked there. Not sure how much it'll work on a large scale basis if a lot of cities around would doing this. There is one drawback and there is one caveat to using Tenino's currency or their form of a government assistance. You cannot use it if you're going to buy alcohol, tobacco, lottery tickets, or marijuana. So it specifically lists those 4 items: no alcohol, no tobacco, no lottery tickets, and no marijuana. So you can get the free currency, the wooden currency, $300 at a time, but you cannot use it to buy any alcohol or anything of that nature. So essentially it's a pretty good idea. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you think this is a good idea or a bad idea. Leave your comments below if you know of any other small towns in your area that are doing something similar to this. Ultimately, I think this is something that is exciting and it's good, and it's drawn a lot of attention to a small town, which is good for their local economy. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about was in the CARES Act, everyone received payments of $1,200 for all eligible adults, $500 for dependents, but there's been some questions of, what was the average check that everyone received, every household out there? Did people receive more of the max, the $3,900, or were people receiving more just a $1,200 check? And it looks like with all of the 159 payments that were sent out from the middle of April through the beginning of June, the average payment that everyone received was roughly $1,800. So the average economic stimulus check was roughly $1,800. So a little bit to the mid-lower range of the max that was eligible for everyone to receive. Now, something to note about this is that many of the people that received the economic stimulus checks had an issue with receiving their payments. Most of them, and it says about 25% of the people that received the economic impact payment had an issue with receiving it. Either it was late, it was the wrong amount, either by too less or too much. Some people did receive too much of economic stimulus. And I've discussed that previously in certain scenarios. If you receive too much, meaning that you received the economic stimulus for someone that may have passed away and they were still on your tax returns at 2019, that's something that you should give back to the IRS. So please, check out my previous video about that, because you don't want the IRS to come after you in that scenario. But statistically, it breaks down and it says for most of the recipients, the economic impact payments weren't all that helpful in supplementing lost income due to the coronavirus pandemic. It says nearly 15% of recipients said the money didn't make a dent, while another 48% said it helped, but only a little bit. And it was only 39% of the people surveyed said that the money was actually beneficial. The amount that they received was actually beneficial to help them bridge the gap in their employment status. So this is something that is very important, because as we've all mentioned before, and as everyone mentioned, no one actually knows for sure if there will be a second stimulus, how much that stimulus will be. We do know what's on the table, what is in Congress right now, produced from the HEROES Act by the House of Representatives, but no one knows if it's going to be passed to law, if it's going to move forward, or anything of that nature. What everyone can agree on is that a one-time payment to satisfy an ongoing pandemic is not sufficient. So hopefully, as more data continues to come out and more people realize that this is not sufficient, and what took place over one time isn't really going to be beneficial to help the whole economy, which is a very, very large economy in the United States. Hopefully we'll start to see more talks about a second economic stimulus, at least if there's something that's more pointed to help out those that are still unemployed, those that are working on the front lines, and those that are still really, really struggling. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos or coming to my channel, I ask that you please hit the subscribe button. Please ring the bell so that you get an update each time I upload a new video. And also, please like and share this video to help me increase the financial literacy of our globe. Thank you so much and have a great day.